Hey, hey, hey. Welcome everyone to PTZOptics Live. My name is John Roberts. We are here in Downingtown, Pennsylvania in the one and only PTZOptics studio. You'll see we're actually joined by one familiar face, Andy from the Head of Support. How you doing, Andy?
I'm doing great. How are you guys doing?
So I'm doing very well, but we actually have an even newer face that you might not be too familiar with. Grace, welcome, our marketing intern. Thank you for joining us today. How are you doing, Grace?
I'm doing good.
So, Grace, how long have you been here as our marketing intern?
I've been here for just about 2 months now.
2 months. So, how you liking it? What do you think about PTZOptics and the family?
I'm learning a lot
Okay.
about PTZ cameras and just enjoying watching the live show and promoting all the products and events and news.
Awesome. So, what did you think a PTZ camera was before you heard of this company?
I'd heard of the term
Okay.
and I knew that it meant pan, tilt, and zoom, but I wasn't aware of how high tech they were and everything, all the work that gets put into maintaining these PTZ cameras.
Awesome. Well, I'm hoping we can show some of that today, and hopefully we can bring some of your visions to life, as we like to say here at PTZOptics. But please let us know where you're watching at home. We always love to see where you guys are tuning in from, and give us a shout out in the comments. Let us know the kind of products you're using from PTZOptics. And everything you're actually seeing today is shot on PTZOptics cameras. So I'm being shot from a Move 4K currently. In front of me, I have a Studio 4K. All throughout our studio, we are outfitted with PTZOptics cameras. Now, it's interesting because we have a familiar face, a new face here, and then my old face. But you might be wondering where Paul is. Well, that's a great question. A lot of people have reached out already. Paul is actually no longer at PTZOptics or Haverford Systems. He is going out to explore the world and the future of the AV industry. So we wish Paul an absolute blessing and well wishes. Paul has built up PTZOptics, this family-run company, from the ground up. And, you know, all of us are here because of PTZOptics and Matt Davis and all these great people that have been from the company from ground zero. So we wanted to thank Paul. Before we cut to a video showcasing some of the fun memories that we've had here in the studio and beyond with Paul, I wanted to pass it over to Andy, since you know Paul even longer than I do. Yeah, this is a big deal for our company, so we wanted to make some time to talk about this.
Yeah, I've been at the company since 2015, so 11 years now, and Paul was the one who lured me away from my AV installation job to come do support for cameras, which was a very odd move for me, but it was one that, after talking with Paul and talking with Matt, seemed like a really good fit. And I'm eternally grateful for Paul for pushing me to do that. PTZOptics has been a wonderful experience in my life. Every person I've worked with has pretty much said the same thing, and we all, to some degree, owe that to Paul. So, Paul, if you're watching, thank you, man. Appreciate it.
Yes. Thank you, Paul. Thank you so much. You brought me in on, you didn't have to. I sent you a cold email on a form and you brought me in, you gave me a tour. I didn't get hired right away, but you saw the passion that I had for cameras and PTZ cameras. And it's the only reason why I'm here. So thank you, Paul. We appreciate everything you've done for us. And you built up this great audience and this great show. And we can't thank you enough. So we have this great little video we put together. Thank you, Mike, our wonderful producer, for putting this together, and to look back at all the great memories we've had with Paul. Wow. That was amazing to see. There's so much history here. I'm honored to try to continue PTZ Optics Live and see where we can go from here with it. And yeah, I think that's a good time to ask you, the audience at home that's watching, what do you want from us? You know, is there something that you're looking for? Is it demos? Is it just to hang out with people at PTZ Optics, your old pal John? Or is it, you know, certain industries that you're looking into to learn more about? Or is it just as educational videos to get the most out of what you currently own? So let us know in the comments what you're looking for PTZ Optics as a YouTube channel, but also PTZ Optics Live. Now, I know we've already done so much and we haven't even started the show yet. So let's go right into our live show squares. It kind of reviews exactly what the show is going to be about today. So first things first, we are talking about education. Not only are we going to talk about HETMA certified cameras, we are not HETMA approved, but we also are going to be talking about Broadcast Made Easy. Broadcast Made Easy is a really great company that is getting providing assets for morning announcements and getting you started right away in schools for morning announcements. So after that, we're going to go over some minor things here to remind you. The Netgear Academy is live on Netgear Academy. So you can go there to be officially certified for PTZ Optics. So you want to definitely check that out. And of course, we have a great beta group. This is our PTZ Optics beta group and their testers that actually test out the latest and the greatest new products that we're coming out with before they're actually fully released. So if you're interested in managing multiple cameras at once, updating across multiple cameras, check out our beta group because there's actually a fleet manager that we're testing out currently. It's not currently public. You can only access that at ptzoptics.com/beta. So check that out. Next, we are looking towards the future, which is next month in April. We are going to be at NAB in Las Vegas, shooting dice and selling some cameras as we do when we go to Vegas. So if you guys want to book a meeting with me directly, you can scan that QR code there. You can also just reach out to me at john.roberts@PTZOptics. And then we have a little bit of a recap from the past as well. So we went to HIMSS, which is a healthcare conference. Its focuses on AI and the AV nature of healthcare. So we have a little snippet, a little recap of our booth there with StrongArm, a great partner of ours who makes awesome medical carts. So let's take a look at that video from HIMSS.
I'm Kevin Cullinan with PTZ Optics. We're at HIMSS Day 4, and this is the StrongArm Healthcare booth in under a minute. We have the One Cart, virtual nursing and telesitting solution, robust, ergonomic. Next, we have the Clean Mount, premier cable management system from StrongArm for a Walmart workstation. And after that, we have the Mighty Mount, the flagship StrongArm cable management and wall mount solution for monitors, modular, ergonomic, beautiful. Next, we have the StrongArm One Cart. Again, moves around nice and easy. You can dance with it, solves all your virtual nursing needs. Next, we have another Clean Mount here, premier cable management solution, everything tidy and clean in the back. We have a barcode scanner, RFID reader, all of the tools, vitals monitors, and we keep moving. In our collaboration with LayerJot, we have this SPD and OR department optimization device to make your surgical trays optimized, clean, and less expensive. Next, we have another StrongArm Mighty Mount, ergonomic, clean, customizable, modular. Come see us at StrongArm HIMSS.
Wow. That was a lot. He was running around like crazy. He did that in 2 takes. I was very impressed with Kevin. He's a madman, but we had so much fun in Vegas where we got to see and learn a lot about the healthcare space. So if you're interested in that, you can reach out to partners at ptzoptics.com. Hey, Mike. Thanks for tuning in from Jersey, not too far from us. Yes, we're definitely going to miss Paul. Yeah, definitely. Well, thanks for tuning in. Thank you. Paul will be at NEB. Yeah, he's not going to be at our booth full time, but he will definitely be stopping by. You can reach out to Paul at LinkedIn. I think would probably be the best way to contact him now. If you could look for Paul Richards on LinkedIn, he would happily have a talk with you. Alrighty. So something we do here at PTZ Optics and on our live show is share your vision, which is sharing a great setup that you have at home. And we're going to go through a lot of different fun setups throughout the show because we had a giveaway that revolved sending out different videos to show off your setup and your gear. But if you use hashtag share your vision on any of the social media platforms or LinkedIn, we would love to see how you're using PTZ Optics cameras, controllers, or Hive Studio. So let's look at this week where we actually have a really cool top-down camera being used in a very large podcast, a live show on YouTube called the H3 Podcast. So let's check out the vision from H3 podcast.
Watch
Thank
people
you
know
so
about
much.
this. Watch people know about this.
I'm watch people.
You know, I don't think you deserve the aerial camera, to be honest with you. I think Gila deserves it and not that watch.
Wow.
Yeah, I mean, why does
That's
it
how
have to be one or
strongly
the
I feel
other?
about it.
Doesn't need to be one or the other.
Here, hold it up, Ethan. Let's take a look. We actually have a new overhead camera, a very nice one.
Oh, we do?
provided
Ooh,
by,
oh my God, look at that.
PTZOptics. Shout out.
So cool. I love seeing that. I mean, that is such a large podcast to see them using a top-down camera like that with one of our Move 4K cameras. It's incredible. It's so cool to see that. And it's a fun bit. If you don't know the H3 podcast, they always do this bit about watches, and it's become this ongoing bit that they do throughout every other episode or so. So awesome to be a part of that podcast, and hopefully they go full PTZ in the future. What'd you think of that video, Andy?
Looked cool.
Really cool, right?
Maybe you want to get a watch.
I
think.
know. I wish I had a Rolex. I have a nice Shinola, but I do not have a Rolex. We'll get there one day, maybe. Okay, so right off the top, we're going to ask you guys a question. We're curious about what industry you currently work in. Are you just a viewer who's just interested in AV? Or maybe you work in education, and that's why you're here to talk about education a little bit with us at PTZ Optics. Let us know. We're going to throw up a poll in the chat right now. This is to ask, what is your industry? So let us know, and we'll come back to that in just a minute. But I think it's time to jump into the slides here that I have all about education. So, Andy, I'll ask you first and foremost, what do you think of when you think of PTZ and education?
Oh, lecture tracking, probably one of the big ones.
Yeah, definitely. What about you, Grace? If you think like PTZ and education, what's like the first thing that jumps out to you?
I would think mainly morning announcements and also like sports.
Okay. Yeah, sports is huge. And we'll definitely be talking about that and how you can actually take a setup for morning announcements and maybe even apply that to other different stations throughout your school or different inside or outdoor events. Alrighty. So let's jump into education and maybe some of the problems and the solutions that you might see and run into. So obviously, remote students and remote teaching is growing, and it's grown so much since the scary time of 2020. I won't use the word, but with automation, we're able to kind of boost that engagement. We're able to have a teacher constantly being tracked. And that also applies to that teacher maybe running into burnout or having problems, not being able to keep up with trying to track while also educating and staying engaged with their teachers. So that's where automation tools like group framing or voice tracking comes into play, where you can easily take a step back and you don't have to worry about that. And then, of course, there's more for remote learners as we have incredible HD cameras, whether it's 4K 60 or 1080p 60. You can definitely achieve that with PTZ Optics. And then, of course, you want to make sure that both in-person and hybrid learning is easy to understand. So you want to make sure that everything is clean and consistent and you have clear views, no matter if you're in the room or at home watching. That's where something like a preset comes into play. Automation mixing with presets is kind of like the value that you'll get from a PTZ camera. And then, of course, you want to make sure your cameras are always very secure and protected, which all of ours are. You'll need to log in manually to access them. You also want to have very high quality recording and playback. And like I mentioned, our Move 4K cameras have outputs for HDMI, USB, SDI, and IP. Makes it very easy to plug and play. And these are great cameras, whether you want a wide shot or zoom in tightly with 12, 20, or 30x cameras as well. And then jumping into specifically PTZ Optics, I want to give a little overview of maybe why PTZ Optics is right for education. So first, we have Andy here for a reason, because he runs our incredible domestic US support team here, and they always answer the phone. And I won't say every single day, every single hour. What are the hours that you could contact support, Andy?
So yes, our support team is available from 8 a.m. Eastern Standard Time to 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, Monday through Thursday, and then 8 to 4 on Friday.
And how would you say that like PTZ Optics support and our great team is kind of different than other teams that you see in like the AV
Well,
space?
like you said, we pick up the phone.
Yeah.
It's not an automated service. It's almost every other call I pick up the phone and people are like, oh, I didn't expect to get someone so quickly. Hang on, I'm not in the location yet. Give me a few minutes.
Yeah.
I think everybody expects to call support, expects to be put on hold, expects to go through some prompts on their phone to get to someone.
Yep.
we have real people, knowledgeable people behind the phones anytime you call in. If we're all on the phone already, you're probably going to get a voicemail, and you can leave a voicemail for us. We'll call you back as soon as we're off the phone.
Thank you, Andy.
And since we're talking about it, the phone number is 484-593-2584.
Don't tempt us. We'll create a lower third, and then you guys will get way too many calls. Don't tempt us. Don't do it. All right. So back to why PTZ Optics. It's something really essential for education is the ability to plug and play. You want to make sure that your camera has a USB output. It's very easy to use and very simple to get started. So all of our cameras, whether it's a fixed frame camera, whether it's a PTZ camera, has a USB output to really just plug and play, go right away. Even a USB-C output with a Move SE camera. You also have your 5-year warranty that comes standard with all of our cameras. We're very compatible for remote learning, whether it's Hive Studio or the ability to kind of control all of our cameras remotely with a platform like Hive Studio. We are now HETMA approved. Almost every one of our products is approved by HETMA. We'll talk a little bit about HETMA and why that matters. And then in talking about the advanced options and the advanced features, you're looking at like 3D, computer vision, AI, and of course, automation like auto tracking and group framing. And then of course, we'll really nail this down today, which is talking about the multiple use cases and how, yes, you might use your cameras for morning announcements, but that's not the only use case that you'll get out of them. You can go across your whole campus, across even the district if you want to use these cameras beyond. So let's talk about cameras specifically and the value of having all of these outputs in the back. So you'll see that this is our studio camera. This has both an SDI output, HDMI output. Of course, you can connect it PoE. Always so bad at doing this inverse. And power and control over one Ethernet Cat6 cable, or even output via USB, as I mentioned. So really versatile, really easy to kind of mix and match cameras. Or if you want to just use plug and play USB, you can do that really easily with any of our cameras. And of course, our cameras are compatible with a wide variety of different platforms. So if your school is using Zoom, Teams, or Skype, makes it really easy to integrate. We also have a camera called the Link 4K, which I'll talk about in a little bit, which is Dante enabled. So you'll be able to utilize Autonate's Dante's Autonate ability to remotely control your audio signal and AVH video as well. And then, of course, we integrate with an awesome Stream Deck plugin, which you can use on an iPad or you can use on the actual Stream Deck hardware. Looks like Michael Brand sent in a comment. Oh, hello from One Mo Studio. Well, we will be talking about you, Michael, in a little bit. Yeah, best of luck to Paul as well. Thank you for that shout out. That is very sweet. All right, anything that I'm missing on compatibility that would apply to education, Andy? I think those are kind of the big ones that jumped out to me.
Most of the main ones. Versatility is the main word
Exactly.
I'd use for our cameras when it comes to education.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's something I want to talk about is not only can you control the cameras manually, but automation is something that we've mentioned a lot, right? So if you look at the slide here, classroom automation is essential and it's something that you want to have in your PTZ cameras. And this will allow you to not only control 255 presets, you could control multiple cameras with like a hardware device like a SuperJoy, or you can just turn on automation and actually control it dynamically where you can zoom in if you want, or just have the camera automatically following the subject, like Tess here, as you might recognize as our subject in front of the classroom. So this gives you full room coverage across your classroom. Now, if you're going to look at a specific workflow for a classroom, this is something like maybe you're using OBS as a plugin with PTZ Optics. You can also control our cameras with your smartphone, like an iOS device or an Android device. So this is showing not USB, but how you can use one cable to not only connect to your network to the camera directly, but then also connect to your laptop to use our web interface or even use an application on the network as well. So one cable makes it really easy to just quickly deploy, whether it's just USB with DC power, or if you want to just use an Ethernet cable as well. Alrighty, so we talked a little bit about morning announcements, so I wanted to quickly chat about them. First, I wanted to ask, did you guys have morning announcements in like high school or middle school growing up?
As far as I can remember, yes. It was a while ago, but yes.
I had them in middle school, yeah.
Yeah, not in high school though?
No.
I always find that funny is that it kind of fades away. And like people that are in middle school, like specifically love doing it. I remember making like a Lego stop motion to Brick House, if you know that song. You know, Brick House. I can't sing it all the way though, or we'll get copyright struck. But Yeah, I remember doing that for the morning announcements. And usually you were in like the video production class, and that's what allowed you to like be on the morning announcements. And we had it all throughout high school as well. So let's talk about it for a sec. So you need some core basics points, right? I'm looking at 4 different points here. Obviously, if you want solid morning announcements, you're going to need hosts. So we're not even mentioning that. You need the talent, of course, to be in front of the camera and willing to be active participants. But of course, you need really solid camera placement. You want to make sure that your PTZ cameras can not only move and have multiple preset options, but are also just at a maybe pleasing height. You don't want them to be like standing down on a desk, pointing up at someone's chin. You want to make sure that they're angled in a proper space where maybe if you have 2 cameras or 3 cameras, you're capturing the entire set. You want to make sure it's easy to control, which, as we mentioned, all of our cameras are. You can access and control them right directly over your internet, over the browser in a web interface, or you can use a hardware controller, an iPad, a Stream Deck. There's hundreds and hundreds of ways to control our cameras. And then consistent framing, super easy with PTZ cameras. You have those presets, makes it very easy to kind of lock in and remember exactly where you need to be. And there's a few tools that we'll talk about, like the Stream Deck basic mode, which will make it really easy for kids to get started with morning announcements and just using it in education. And then finally, you need the graphics, the scripts, and the structure, right? If you have the camera, you have the gear, that's great, but that's not really going to get you started with morning announcements. You're kind of left with, all these great tools and great video quality, but what is the actual content that you're going to make? And I think that is really where people struggle, and that's preventing a lot of people from even getting started with morning announcements. So that's where Broadcast Made Easy comes in. I found Broadcast Made Easy randomly online. They're a small family-run company, and Katie, the CEO, is amazing, and she's dedicated to morning announcements. And I won't speak too much about it because there's a lot that Katie says herself. So let's cut to Katie and see how we can get the most out of our morning announcements in K to 8 in education. Hello, Katie. Welcome to PTZOptics Live. Thanks for joining us today. And tell us a little bit about where Broadcast Made Easy came from, a little bit about yourself, and really your origin story here.
Awesome. Well, thanks for having me. I'm so excited to be here. Broadcast Made Easy was created from an elementary school in a district that bought the equipment for everybody. So 32 schools had all the exact same equipment, and they weren't taught how to use the equipment or how to create a program. So we spent many, many years inside of a school in this district, creating processes, working with students, trying to figure out what worked. And through that, we created all the structure and organization elementary and intermediate schools need to create a student-led video morning announcement program.
So what got you started down this path? Was it you try to start one yourself with your son, or like how did this all start?
Well, so when my son went to school, I wanted to be involved in a school, and so I became a substitute teacher. I quickly realized that I'm a very uptight personality, and going into a classroom with 5 minutes notice and having to get them through the day was probably not the right fit for my personality, but they had video morning announcements. And so we would watch it every morning, and then a screensaver would come on, and the kids would be like, it's going to come back on. And I'm like, it's going to come back on. And whoop, it came back on. And it was very chaotic. And I was like, so my background's in radio, TV, video production. So I produced the news. I did corporate video work. And I was like, let me find who's in charge and see if I can help them. And it was the librarian, and it was the IT on campus. And I said, hey, can I help you? And they said, please. And I was like, okay, great. And so I found my niche to be inside of a school, but not have to be a substitute teacher. Thank goodness for those teachers. And so I worked with them for 6 years, and and they loved it. It helped get the program back on track. The school was excited about all the information that got included on the announcements. The teachers were like, oh my gosh, I'm excited to show this to my kids. So it was just a real nice fit, and it just came together nicely.
So how often do you see that schools are not utilizing a morning announcement, or how often do you come in and maybe it needs a lot of work, or it's really just a basic setup that could use a lot of enhancement?
I find that there's 2 camps, and the one camp is more heavily to where they have the equipment, it's in the closet, or they're stressed out by it. The advisors are librarians, PE teachers, tag teachers, you get the IT person, but they all have jobs that aren't morning announcements, and it just adds on to their plate. And so they're just kind of overwhelmed by it. And then you have a small group of people that love it, and their programs are amazing. And the kids, they succeed at a very high level. But it really depends on the advisor and their time. So more times than not, districts provide the equipment, but not necessarily the support and structure they need to set up the schools for success.
Sure. And when schools are trying to get set up, and I know when you first start a program like this, it's really hard to keep it rolling, and you need the kids to show up week to week, and you need to have some sort of level of engagement. What makes the difference between a really solid morning announcement setup, and not only just in terms of like the gear and the setup, obviously coming from PTZOptics side, we'd love to see those cameras featured, but in terms of the overall production, what makes it so that we're going to see the kids come back week to week and we're going to see the live appear in the school? What really makes the difference between something that really carries that momentum forward for the school?
You need structure and sustainability. So you need to give something to these principals, to the advisors in the school that they can follow word for word, and that they know what they're doing. Kids, they want to be on the announcements. They love to watch the announcements. And it's great for behavior as well, because kids will say, well, I want to behave better because I want to be featured on the announcements or be an anchor on the announcements. So getting kids excited about anything with video or robotic cameras, they are all in. We just need to help the schools and the teachers create systems around the program to keep it sustainable.
So what does the system look like? Describe kind of the system and the assets that you derive from Broadcast Made Easy, and then what does like the deliverable look like for the actual school?
Yeah, so we are a one-time purchase digital download, and we have 2 packages. So we have our launch pack, which is all the organization that you would need. So think Broadcast in a Box organizationally. So we give you all the studio roles that elementary and intermediate students can do. So think like director, camera, anchors. We even actually like frame out like how does the camera person frame someone on camera. And then we have the application, the student application, how to communicate with parents. And everything is you kind of cut and paste yourself. So we give like insert your school name. Are you doing them live or pre-recorded? Use this information. And then we give you templates Monday through Friday. So think of good morning, Terra Vista Tigers. Today is Wednesday, March 25th. My name is Katie. And I'm John. Hope you're having a great day. So we actually give you, the whole thing with prompts to give the advisors ideas of what to use. Once you do it for an entire year and you save it, you can use it the next year. Just change the anchors out. Every activity pretty much stays in the same time period. So it helps with the whole sustainability thing again. So that's kind of our Broadcast in a Box.
I love that you mentioned even using it again, because while there are schools that may, take their equipment and put it right in the closet, that's kind of the value with buying a camera, whether it's from PTZOptics or buying a whole bundle of cameras to really create a morning announcement setup. Morning announcements, they're going to be there every day, but there's also a lot of events inside the school and outside the school, right? So you could use these cameras and bring them for a sports production, whether you're going outside and shooting some sports. If you have an event space that you want to shoot like a theater, you could bring your cameras into. And then, of course, there's always graduations every year, and you're definitely going to need a camera for those as well. So
Yeah.
the kind of vision of having one kit and being able to capture every moment around your school, I think, is really valuable. And to be able to buy something like an action bundle from PTZOptics and Broadcast Made Easy, you have your morning announcements covered, but then you could also take that and bring it out on the field if you want to, or really anywhere in the school. So it makes it really dynamic.
Absolutely. And you have already trained your kids on how to use the cameras with morning announcements. So you say, hey, why don't you take this camera, go to the gym, we have a speaker coming, and they film it. They can even cut something out and put it back onto the announcements. So
Yep.
it's just a great way if you have one camera for everything. It's just great for the kids, great for the teachers, and for the school. It's a win-win-win.
Exactly. Yeah. You're creating future IT directors. You're creating future broadcasters that might be on air for ESPN one day because
Yeah.
while they're maybe going to be newscasters for morning announcements, they could take that out and apply it to sports and they could be a sports broadcaster. So, or maybe they are just really interested in video production and they want to become, a future John Roberts who's sitting and trying to talk about PTZ cameras. I
Yeah.
fell in love with cameras in school at an early age, and part of that was being in the video production class, and part of that was also being part of the morning announcements. If you were in the video production class, you got to see how that worked. So that was always a really passion for me. It's kind of what led me to like falling in love with cameras deeper and deeper. So I really value Broadcast Made Easy because it really isn't easy to get started with morning announcements, right?
Yes. I actually ran across a student that I worked with way back when. He's a senior now. And I saw him and I was like, is that you? And he's like, oh, Mrs. Mills, it's so nice to see you. And I was like, oh my gosh, I didn't see you. And I was like, hey, just out of curiosity, what was your favorite thing about elementary school? And he wasn't trying to be nice. He was just like, oh, it was broadcast for sure. And I was like, I wasn't necessarily surprised, but it was so heartwarming to hear because he always came in with a big smile on his face. He wanted to be there. He was excited to touch the equipment. It's just you can make such a big difference in these kids' lives that you don't even realize because they're not with you for very long, but it makes such a big impact. It always gives me tingles because kids love doing it and it can make such a big difference.
Yeah, no, it means a lot because when you remember something, it means you really stuck with it. I mean, how many people do you meet in school and teachers and all the interactions you have to really hold on and remember it? It means it's a really valuable experience and what I like to call a core memory. A core memory.
It is
That's
a
what
core memory.
my wife and I always say that. Yeah.
So our launch pack is all the organization, and then we have our holiday pack, which is all the videos. Like every holiday you have on your calendar, we made a video for. And so think of it as an engaging way to get people watching the announcements. The video plays and Easter's coming up, and so you'd say, "Hey, we have Friday off. Why do we have Friday off? Oh, it's Easter." And then a short video plays, and it's just the facts, very simple. In the time that I was working at my son's school, I would spend hours looking for a video that was long, cringy, and then I illegally downloaded it. And I was like, this is not great. And so you have teachers doing the same thing. Like they just spend time that they don't have looking for a long, cringy video that could potentially blow up their computers. So we have helped them by creating these 50 videos customized with a school name and logo, just the facts in short. The feedback that we get is that kids start to look forward to holidays because they want to see the video. They hear the jingle, bum, 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 bum. And if they're not paying attention, they turn their head because they want to see the video. So a lot of times announcements can be talking heads of the kids, but if you make it more interactive, like with a video and graphics, it just makes it more fun and more engaging and more memorable. So that's why we have the holiday videos.
Yeah, I love that you guys customize it too. So you have their branded logo. So it really is kind of made for each individual school. I love that. So if you were to meet a principal or someone who's a media teacher or a district leader, and they've never heard of PTZ Optics or Broadcast Made Easy, what is kind of like the value or what is the overall like pitch that you would give them about why the two of these companies coming together is kind of valuable?
Absolutely. So the reason why I really like PTZ Optics is because your cameras are robotic and kids, they love robotics. And so if you have a system where they get to go in and play with it and it makes it more fun like a game, they're going to love it even more. But you can't just buy the cameras. You have to buy something that also teaches the administration and the advisors on how to run a program. Because if you don't have both, your program is going to fail. So you just need to find a way to get something very simple with the cameras that kids are going to like, that the advisor can understand with a system that's easy to follow. And then you add in the videos to make it more engaging and it makes it more united having your name up front. It gives a real big like school culture feel. So between the both of us, you kind of get a win-win on having video morning announcements, but a camera you can also take around the school as well.
Absolutely, yeah. And we're always here. We're going to not only just help you get set up, but I'm here to help you kind of guide through the process. If you have questions about how to get started with morning announcements, I'm always here, and you can reach out to me at john.roberts@PTZOptics. But Katie, where can they learn more about Broadcast Made Easy?
Yeah, you can head to our website, broadcastmadeeasy.com. You can also contact me. My email is, you can contact us on the web form. I'm also happy just to talk to you about your program if you already have one. I am excited about morning announcements. Hopefully you can feel that. I want programs to be great. And so I'm also happy to just review anything, talk to you, see how we can help.
Thank you so much. We will see you guys in the classroom and hopefully beyond. Thank you.
Thank you.
Welcome back. I hope you enjoyed that little video with Katie and I. She really gives me the perspective on how important it is for morning announcements to be a part of your school, right? It is about not just, having an engaging way for kids to start their morning, but it's also you're educating and not only like delivering a message to your whole group of children and educators. You're building a community inside of the school. So it's extremely important. I hope you guys can see that. I wanted to give you guys a little bit more context, and also you're still going to see Paul here and there from time to time. We have some videos that we've edited with Paul. He's so passionate, as you guys have always seen here. So I wanted to show you guys a little bit of a green screen video with our Studio 4K here that's right in front of me. You can actually integrate this with a really great teleprompter from Elgato and create a really awesome setup. And that could be perfect for a one camera morning announcement solution. So let's see what Paul got up to with a teleprompter and our green screen here in the studio.
Hey everybody, I want to show you what we've been doing with our amazing green screen. We're using virtual sets and multiple cameras to produce what I think is an awesome online course. Check out this setup. We've got multiple lights to get some really cool lighting, and we're using a teleprompter here. This is the Elgato teleprompter, and I wanted to show you kind of our setup here behind the scenes, because as a presenter, I just made a really awesome online course with virtual sets and green screens that I think just really is interesting and fun. It took us a long time to set this up. So first of all, this is our teleprompter. You can see we've just got one Ethernet cable connected to a PTZOptics Studio 4K cameras. These are some of the nicest looking box cameras that you can get. We're using all NDI, so it's 4K video, and it fits directly onto this really affordable teleprompter from Elgato. And the teleprompter is powered over USB actually. So we've got one Ethernet cable powering our camera and one USB cable that sends the video and the power to this. So it's very, I know there's a lot of cables you're going to see in our studio. Most of it's actually power for all of these lights, but the video setup's pretty straightforward. Now I like to have a bigger screen behind me. Now this teleprompter can actually have a screen on it, but I like to use it just to read the words that I'm talking about, and then have a bigger monitor right behind it. Now I know this is kind of a large monitor on wheels here, but since we have one, it's kind of like our conference monitor in the studio. So I want to show you over here kind of like the output of all of this. When I'm sitting down, you can see I'm in front of a beautiful green screen. This isn't actually a full kind of 180 green screen here. We put in a curtain, so that sometimes you don't need a green screen, sometimes you do. So we put in this cool curtain system so that I can have either a nice black backdrop, which looks really good in most scenarios, and if we're using the green screen, we can pop it right out. One of the things with green screens that you should know is there is something called a green screen spill. So if you're not using the green screen, all of this green light can actually kind of like spill onto your subject if you're not careful. So think about that. I like to have slides for my presentations. I'm trying to use more Canva because Canva is like gorgeous slides, but I still use Google Slides. I'm a little old school that way. But usually I've got my slides up on my laptop, and then I take them via HDMI and I capture them either with a capture card or with NDI video capture. That's a very simple, easy to use, free tool from NDI. And I'll show you how we bring it all back to our live streaming computer here and how it's all set up. So you'll see here, just finished the online course, but I wanted to show you the vMix setup. So this is called a virtual set right here. And one of the cool things you'll see as this moves around is that you have the ability to like virtually pan, tilt, and zoom, which I just love. Like, look at how like smooth that looks, and we can kind of like fade between the presentation and the virtual look and feel. It really just adds a layer of professionalism that I think is awesome. So that's that Studio 4K camera there. I also have multiple real cameras in this system. So we've got some lower thirds and graphics to make it look professional, but I also have like some nice close-ups. So for example, this is like a close-up shot that I'll cut to. That's where like my smartphone will be. We're talking about our new visual reasoning app, for example. So you can see here there's a lot of really cool cuts and shots that we can do with these virtual sets. So I don't know if you've seen these before, but we're using vMix. They've got a lot of beautiful virtual sets. And some of the nicer looking ones actually have what I call like a virtual monitor inside. So what you can do is essentially layer up these virtual sets so that this virtual set, for example, has a screen kind of inside the virtual screen. So that's just like an input inside of vMix. So that's my PowerPoint. Then you've got like your midground, your talent. So the talent layer's right here, and the virtual screen is there. So it's 2 video inputs inside of 1 virtual set. And then you get up to 4, at least in vMix, you get up to 4 basically presets that we can have cuts between. So we can have slow, medium, and fast cuts between that. It just really adds a beautiful layer to these virtual sets. So that's why for us, this is our ultimate green screen setup. This is how we create online courses. We have so many great AI tools today for creating outlines and creating summaries and generating good ideas and the thumbnails and the titles, but it's still so important. We've got all that value to create all of this stuff, but you still have to have a really good system for recording these courses. And that's what I think we've built here. We've got a multi-camera, multiple lights, green screen setup where we've got NDI video coming from our cameras. And then these virtual sets just really are the icing on the cake to create professional online courses. I love what we're doing with green screens. And then I'll just mention, so we're just talking about recorded video right now, but you can use this to live stream to YouTube and Facebook, just simply by hitting the live stream button. You can also connect this to Zoom webinars, whatever you're using, Microsoft Teams. All of this can be output into Zoom or Teams or Google Meet via a virtual webcam. So all of this can be put in there. And I'll also mention, you don't need to use vMix. You can use OBS, which is totally free at obsproject.com. But vMix really does a good job of managing these virtual sets. So, for us, this is super important. And it has the PTZ camera control built in, which is just nice for our producer to be able to kind of move things around and adjust things all from his seat right here. So we don't have cameramen moving around. We've got PTZ cameras on tripods. He can just simply, easily move those cameras around to readjust things directly in vMix, by the way, which is a really kind of important thing to mention. Right in vMix, if you've got the Pro or 4K version, you can actually just zoom these cameras in. So, like, for example, if you're setting up a green screen, you can zoom it in, make sure it looks right, and then you can do the color key directly in vMix. So this is how a color key is what you do to select the type of green, the color green that you're looking for, and that makes it a transparent background. So vMix is a great all-in-one solution for this type of thing. We just recorded our brand new course on visual reasoning, so check that out. I couldn't be more excited. With it all set up, before we break it down, wanted to show you guys the setup. Let me know what you think in the comments below.
Thanks again, Paul, for creating that awesome video. And like I said, we have a couple more coming from him that you'll still see mainly about the studio series. But Grace, I want to turn it to you because I know we probably have some questions, but we also have some polls that we want to review. So what about the first poll? What are the results from that?
Yep, the results are in regarding the industry of our viewers, and we have 46% house of worship, 23% education, 16% IT services, and 15% corporate.
Awesome. Okay, that's kind of around what we expected. Obviously, there's a lot more industries beyond that, so didn't capture the whole, whole picture. But that's really awesome to see. What about the second poll that we did?
We were wondering if the viewer school currently runs on morning announcements, and 64% of the viewers don't work in education, but the others that do work in education, 22% do currently run morning announcements, while 14% of them don't.
Okay, great. Awesome. Are there any questions that are jumping out to you that you think we need to answer or respond to that you see?
Somebody did say that the setup in Paul's green screen video was goals for their new school program. So,
Oh, awesome. That's great. Yeah, it's amazing what we're able to do in the studio, and there's so much potential out there. And if you have any questions or you guys want to recreate what Paul had set up there, you can reach out to me directly, and I can kind of talk you guys through it and what might be the best setup. Alrighty, so there's a couple other things. Let's see, can we share a list of lights and equipment you are using? Yeah, we can definitely put that together. That shouldn't be too hard. That's definitely the Elgato. That is their teleprompter. Studio 4K is our camera that I have right in front of me here. But yeah, we can put together the name of the lights and some of the other products that we use there. Alrighty, now I want to focus. Now we talked a little bit about K through 12, K through 8, really for morning announcements. Now I want to jump into HETMA. And if you don't know what HETMA is, they are the Higher Education Technology Managers Alliance. They are a 501c3 nonprofit organization, and they mainly focus on growing and influencing and developing the higher education market. So they matter because they have a strong voice, and that voice tells you what is the right hardware to use in your university and your college. So let's look at HETMA and why it's important to be an approved solution. So we have many approved solutions. Our Move 4K, and as you can see on the image here, our Link 4K, which is a Dante-enabled camera, is actually an approved solution by HETMA now. So this is a built-in Dante AVH. It has encoder and decode abilities directly from the camera, and that's using AVH, Dante Audio Video. So that is going to give you a lot in terms of mass deployment if you are in a large space or in a large university where you want to still use your Dante and integrate that with some video. The Link 4K is the right camera for you. So you can learn more about that at ptzoptics.com/link. We also have an incredible integration with not just Nariva. We're showing an image with Nariva microphones, but we have voice tracking available with our Move 4K cameras and the Link 4K cameras. So we have a bunch of great audio partners. As you see, Nariva is mentioned there, but we also have Sennheiser, Shure, Audio-Technica, a lot of really great partners that you can integrate directly with our Move 4K to that microphone and automatically switch and move your camera completely hands-free. So that's really exciting. That's perfect for, large spaces in conference rooms or classrooms. Here we have a direct quote from HETMA after they reviewed our Simpltrack 3, which is our dual lens camera. A lot of capability there, which I'll show you in a minute. So they've tested it, and they are actually seeing that they've found cameras that are costing 2 to 3x as much as our PTZOptics Simpltrack and our Move 4K series of cameras. So that is a huge sentiment from them, and it means a lot from us that they're able to kind of outline how not only affordable they are, but how quality our PTZOptics cameras are. And then I mentioned the Simpltrack 3. Well, here is the dual lens system of the Simpltrack 3. This is the power of the Simpltrack 3. Not only do you have that 20x tracking lens, but you also have the ability to use the reference lens, which is an extremely wide angle 720p angle lens that gets a whole wide view of your space and your environment. That way it knows exactly who is inside or outside of that tracking lens, so it can have smarter automation. And you can see on the right side there, the reference view is showing all of the different types of automation. So there's a green box for the tracking zone, so that when Ashley walks through, it'll automatically trigger if she enters into a trigger zone, which is the blue box. And then I am actually sitting on stage in this video in the red box, which is a blocking zone. So it knows that the subject, once they walk through that, that is a zone where you don't want to pick up someone else. You don't want to get distracted while tracking. And then she'll continue to walk into the front podium, and then that'll jump into a preset once she enters into the podium, so it knows to stop tracking and lock in. So what I'm calling the reference is simply the reference lens. I don't have the camera in front of me, but if I did, I would show you guys directly. So there's a dual lens on the front of the camera. You can kind of see it in the image here, but it's very small. The pointer I'm pointing at is a small 720p lens that has an extremely wide field of view so that it can capture your entire space. And as you can see, when your zoom lens is zoomed into the podium or is tracking Ashley in this video, it will see your entire view, so it knows maybe you want to switch to another preset on the other side of the room, or maybe you want to have some sort of automation trigger in a different space that is not captured on that main barrel lens. So that's the Simpltrack 3. A lot of cool aspects of that, and it's the most customizable camera I think we really have here at PTZOptics. Oh, thank you, Mike. That's awesome. So yeah, there you can see there's the Simpltrack 3. It's got that main 20x barrel lens up top, and then a 720p reference lens. You can actually pull out both of those videos as well if you want to bring those in to another platform like OBS, vMix, or even Hive Studio. You can bring in and have both views available. So I wanted to quickly also mention the bundles that maybe go beyond your classroom. That's something that we were mentioning with morning announcements, is taking a setup like one of our bundles, whether a mix and match bundle like the Flex bundle, producer bundle like a 1080p or 4K, or if you want the action bundle, which I think is almost perfect for morning announcements because you have the 2 fixed frame cameras for your 1-2 subjects up front, and then a PTZ camera if you want to have some additional movement and motion. So those are the overview of our bundles. You can learn more if you go to ptzoptics.com/bundles, and you can see an overview of some of the bundles there that are available. And that's really where you're going to save money if you purchase and include that controller with those 3 cameras. So I know you guys are very excited about the giveaway. We're going to get there in just a minute. I just wanted to shout out a couple cool more things that are really important to bring up about education in PTZOptics. So first, one-click automation. We make it really easy to not only customize your automation with the Simpltrack 3 and the Move 4K, but we make it really easy to just simply turn it on real easily with one click, or you can use a Stream Deck if you'd like for one-click automation. We make it really easy to create presets with our awesome Horizon interface, which is our currently new and being worked on interface. You can actually have thumbnails for your presets, which is really cool, so you know exactly what you're cutting to. And then something that's growing faster and faster is public safety. Our cameras are not always used as security cameras, but I've seen multiple cases where they are used. We are on Viv Profile S certified, so we can see these cameras deployed for security reasons, but really the value is that there's so much powerful AI software out there, and in combination with our incredible cameras and our incredible optics, you are able to ensure that your school is safe inside and out, whether it's motion detecting, signaling and flagging your local police department. There's plenty of AI software that we combine our camera with, and maybe in the future we can get into public safety and have a whole topic about that. And then of course there's remote production control, which we'll definitely talk about with Hive Studio. So here I want to quickly show how you can bring these cameras outside of the morning announcements or a video production room. You can bring it to the court, whether it's volleyball or basketball or any of the indoor sports that your school offers. You can also bring it and do your morning announcements as well as your graduation ceremonies. So here we have a high school that used it, and they were able to send the video home for people that weren't able to attend, which was incredible to have parents and the elderly who weren't able to attend see the graduation. So no matter what age you are, I think the graduation ceremonies are really important for students and their family. And then of course, the auditorium, that is like a sacred space in a lot of education spaces. You want to make sure that you have a really solid setup. Here I'm showing a Flex bundle, which mixes a 12, 20, and 30x Move 4K camera. And then it also has a SuperJoy, but you're kind of getting the overall image here. You have a confidence monitor if you want a TV that's inside of the auditorium or right outside in the lobby. You can see multiple computers, one that's maybe running ProPresenter, or a worship platform if you're using it for a house of worship. And then you can see everything's connected really with just one cable via NDI and the Cat6 cables. Alrighty, and here's just a quick image that kind of shows a Move SE in a, I think this was a film festival, but a similar auditorium setup. Alrighty, the last thing I want to quickly mention is PTZOptics Hive. So PTZOptics Hive is a great camera control platform. It allows you to not only control the Move 4K cameras, but even the Simpltrack 3 camera as well. So the Simpltrack 3 is actually a great camera that actually has a video that I didn't mention. So I want to quickly show this Simpltrack 3 setup, which shows a little bit about the zone management, and then we'll jump back into Hive Studio. So let's look at that Simpltrack 3 video here. Let's first log into the Simpltrack 3's web interface. One more pre-recording, quick demo. In today's demonstration, we're going to show you the entire frame by hitting preset 0. And then we're going to block it out initially with our blocking zones. So now you can see what we're going to achieve here, which is creating 3 different blocking zones. So we have our great subject here working in a demonstration of a classroom where we're going to not only set up a tracking zone, a trigger zone, as well as a blocking zone. So let's look at our boundaries and the individual zones that we have listed here. First, we want to clear all the zones. By deleting the zones, you can simply click on the zone and hit delete on the keyboard. So now here you're seeing both the PTZ view and the reference view, as the Simpltrack 3 is a dual lens camera. The power of the dual lenses allows you to have a wider angle reference view so that your camera is a little more intelligent, so it knows what's outside of that PTZ view. So let's go over each individual zone, and we'll start with the tracking zone. The tracking zone is pretty straightforward. That's the zone that we're going to select and use for tracking. Now, as soon as you enter into this zone, this will enable tracking, and we'll follow the subject that first entered into the zone. So there's some other zones, and as you see Jenna sitting at the table there, you might not want to have her being tracked if you have a teacher who's at the front of the classroom. So what we want to do is set up a blocking zone for Jenna so that we don't get distracted by her presence. So now, when we enter into the zone, we will begin tracking, but we won't track Jenna. Now you also see that there's a whiteboard here. We want to maybe zoom in so you can see it at home when you're in class. So what we'll then do is set up a preset zone. This preset zone will set up a trigger so that it'll set another preset, it'll switch to another camera, or maybe even possibly setting another HTTP preset command. So this could trigger things like lights, maybe a projector turning on or curtains opening. You have many options depending on your different zone. So let's jump here by showing how all of this works now that we've set up these zones, and I'll further break down the individual zones as well. So here you'll see on the menu that there's also tracking outside of the reference view, which you can do, as well as tracking only what the reference view sees. And then there's also the ability to turn off the tilt while tracking and zooming while tracking as well. And then finally, if you lose your target, which is your target loss action, it'll go back to a preset or any preset selection that you'd like. And then there's also tracking gesture control, which we can show off as well. Alrighty, so now that we've set our tracking zone, our blocking zone, and our preset zone, well, you want to learn a little bit more about what that preset zone is exactly doing. So if you click into the preset zone, we're going to actually determine the action that it takes when you enter into that blue box or the preset zone. So if we go over to the Actions tab here in the Web UI, this is where it'll actually allow you to trigger and set a specific preset. Or like I was mentioning, if you have an additional command for whether it's lighting or some other piece of tech in your room that will take some of these commands, you're actually able to use the Simpltrack 3 in your network control to actually send a command to another device. Or what we just demonstrated was actually just sending it into a different preset. So you can see that there's even options for adding an IP address. If you wanted to actually switch to a different camera, say in vMix, for instance, you could do that with the power of the Simpltrack 3. Or what we're doing here is just framing in a preset so that as soon as I walk into that whiteboard zone, it will actually zoom in and punch into the whiteboard so that everyone at home that's watching for their virtual education will be able to know exactly what today's lesson is. And just like that, after we turn on auto tracking and animation, it will begin. So as soon as I enter into the frame, it'll start tracking me. And then if I enter into our preset zone here, it'll open up and lock into that zone that we just created. And then if I walk through it, it'll stay in that zone until I step out of it, where it'll continue to track me. But it won't track Jenna because she's in the blocking zone here. Now, if I were to walk up in front, remember this is a 3D space, but it's 2D when you're creating the zones. So for instance, if I were to walk here directly in front of the whiteboard, well, it's still going to lock into that preset. So you have to know the difference between your space, where the camera's located and where your whiteboard's located. But this also can create an interesting dynamic frame for you so that it'll still track me. But if I wanted to get a little bit closer and talk closer to the camera and still have the whiteboard locked into frame, you can also do that. But if I step away and out of that frame, it's going to look for me again and instantly start tracking me so I can move around freely into the room. Really makes it easy so that a teacher can go to the front of the room and not have to worry about where they are, and the camera always tracks them and makes sure that everyone at home can know what's happening in the room. That's the Simpltrack 3. You can learn more at PTZOptics.com/Simpltrack3. Alrighty. Well, I hope you like that. There's not as much content on the Simpltrack 3, so we're really trying to let you guys know how cool that camera is. It's like the most customizable, really smooth motion, and really incredible automation. So check out the Simpltrack 3. And then there's one last little bit here. I have the SuperJoy right next to me, which is an incredible controller. You have 6 cam buttons you can easily press and switch to immediately if you want to control multiple different cameras. You can easily switch between them. You can actually even bring this into Hive Studio if you want to switch between inputs there and control cameras that way. And then you can actually even use an Xbox controller as well in Hive Studio. So if you are interested in having kids use something like this with a camera that moves, I think that is really what blows people away. And as soon as a kid sees that he can use like a game controller to control a camera, it like blows their minds. So I wanted to mention that. And I know the SuperJoy, when you look at it, there's so many buttons here. This could be really overwhelming and confusing. But a lot of people don't know that there's actually a couple different modes here. You'll see a matrix mode and a basic mode. So we wanted to let you guys a little bit more and dive deep into those modes with a little video that we recorded as well that goes into the basic mode and the matrix mode on the SuperJoy. So you want to get started with the SuperJoy, but there's just too many buttons on this thing. Well, we made it a little bit easier for you. So if you come and look at the SuperJoy, there's actually 2 different modes here. So you'll see that there is a basic mode and a matrix mode. So let's get started, and we zoom out, we can show off the basic mode. So we're going to press that once, and you'll see that you are now able to highlight specific buttons on the interface here. So this is going to just highlight the key functionality and actually disable all the other buttons on the SuperJoy so that none of these will be affected if you have a volunteer or you have someone that's just getting started, like in morning announcements. If you have a student who's not used to using a SuperJoy, well, turn on the basic mode and they can actually still control their camera with the basic mode using the joystick. They can still trigger presets with the basic mode. If they click on one of the presets, they can instantly trigger them. And they can still use the joystick. Now, you can also use basic mode by disabling the joystick. So if I press it one more time, now it's disabled with the joystick. I'm trying to turn it. I'm trying to move the camera, but you're not able to. So this is great for those setups where you're just trying to use presets. You're not going to use any manual control with the joystick at all. And then if you want to turn off basic mode, you can just press it one more time. And now you have functionality over the entire SuperJoy, including the joystick as well. Alrighty, now let's look at the next mode. This is the matrix mode on the SuperJoy. Now the matrix mode's a little bit different. This is for a focused control of up to 3 cameras. So if we zoom out on the SuperJoy here and I press matrix mode, you'll notice that there's this grid here. There is a 3x3 grid. Now, this is if you are using 3 different cameras and you want 3 presets for each camera. It's going to make it really simple. So this 3x3 grid is creating a preset grid for 3 different cameras with 3 presets. So the first 3 buttons is your camera 1, preset 1, 2, and 3. Camera 2 is 1, 2, and 3. And then camera 3's preset 1, 2, and 3. So this allows you to quickly go in, and for 3 cameras, you don't need to worry about, oh, am I switching between camera 4 or which one was camera 6? Now this makes it really easy, so you know that the first row is 1, the second row is camera 2, and the third row is camera 3, preset 1 through 3. So this are 2 really easy, simple modes. You just press matrix mode one more time and it disables that entirely. So just like that, if you hold the button, it'll turn off matrix mode and then you're good to go. So those are 2 quick modes in terms of the SuperJoy. The SuperJoy is a great controller for up to 255 cameras, and it supports 255 presets as well. So check out the SuperJoy at PTZOptics.com/SuperJoy to learn more, and we'll see you very soon. Alrighty, we're so close to your giveaway and going through all the fun videos that you guys sent us. Thanks again for entering in our March giveaway. You guys sent in some really incredible videos that we're going to showcase here on the live show. We're going to show all of the ones that we had entered, even our honorable mentions as well. Before we do that, we have one last poll. If you are in the education space, if you work in a school, we're curious the number of cameras you currently deploy in your school. You have 1 camera, is it 2 to 3, or maybe even more than 4? We would love to know, because we're just curious. What is the most common application, and how many cameras are you really using it? So let us know how many cameras, and that gives us kind of a greater understanding of where our cameras are really mainly being used in schools. Alrighty, so you guys can fill out that poll, but we are going to jump in right to our March giveaway. And if you don't know, what we did actually is a little bit different this time. We were looking for videos submitted by you guys, our awesome visionaries out there, to showcase how you're using our cameras and our controllers as well. So we wanted to see what you guys could send back, all the different industries that maybe you guys are using our cameras in. And we got some really, really great feedback. First, I want to start with our honorable mentions. There's actually 3 chances to win here. So first place wins the Move 4K, as we mentioned. That's our Move 4K. It's our 4K 1080, or excuse me, 4K 60 FPS camera, our top of the line camera with incredible automation. So our first runner-up and our honorable mention went to Hitchcock Tulare. It's a school district from Jason Wenzel. So if you look over at my screen here, I have a basketball game that they actually use and stream 720p every basketball game that they have here. And it's pretty impressive. They got their lower third scoreboard. They have their advertisements up top. They even cut to mid-rolls that are happening throughout the game. So if you're seeing it stutter, sorry about that. My connection here at the computer is not the best. But the rest of the videos we have loaded into vMix, so don't worry about that. So really cool to see our cameras being used in sports. And this is like a perfect example, speaking of education, how you could either mount these permanently in the gym or maybe bring them in from a morning announcement or a video production class and set it up for each of these games. Alrighty. So let's go to our next honorable mention. The rest of these will be some videos that we'll showcase to you guys. So if we do this again, it's good for you guys to know you guys will be featured here on the live show, and we'll even post some of these videos afterwards because they're really such awesome case studies. So we want to make sure everyone can see these. All right. So number 5, before we get to our top 3, we have, I'm not sure how you pronounce this. I'm really bad at pronunciation, but GOP SDA Church from Evanston. They sent in a really great house of worship video. So let's take a look at that video and see how they're using PTZ Optics.
Hello, my name is Evanson Lewis June, and I am the pastor of the Agape Seventh-day Adventist Church, located in University City, Missouri. PTZ Optics has helped my church tremendously. PTZ Optics has helped us extend our ministry beyond the walls of our church. Each week, we reach 150 to 200 viewers. Not only that, but we're building a media program to train young people in our community on how they can do production and broadcasting. This isn't just equipment for us, but it's a tool for impact. So thank you, PTZ Optics.
Oh, that was such a sweet message. Thank you so much from Agape SDA Church. And Evanson, thank you for sending in that video. It was really beautiful, and I hope we can stay in touch and maybe we can even work together in the future and create some more videos as well. So thank you so much. On to our next runner-up for the March giveaway here. We have Coast Community Church from Maria Dacus, or Dacus. Prepare yourself for this one. It's really awesome to see someone upgrade and see the difference of a camera like a Move 4K or a Move SE. It really takes you to the next step as soon as you are able to jump up to that next level of video quality. So thanks to the Coast Community Church, you guys put together a really crazy, fun video. Like that background graphic, we were just like so fixated on how insane it was. We loved that. So thank you again. To all of our runner-ups, and thank you guys for everyone who submitted. I think we really got a great turnout, and we're really impressed that you guys were able to reach out to us and put time out to really make these videos. All right, so now we're going to move into our top three, and like I said, everyone in the top three is a winner here today because the second and third place winners will get a $50 Visa gift card that we'll send you after the show here today, and then we're also going to give you guys a month of Hive Studio, a standard plan, so you guys can test out up to 3 different cameras in Hive Studio. All right, this was so difficult to pick between these three. Honestly, we love them all just as much. But at number 3 is Augustana Lutheran Church. I grew up in a Lutheran church, so this hit a little home for me. Thank you, Carl Larson, for putting together such a professional video. Let's take a look at it right now.
Hello, my name is Carl Larson. I am the Media and IT Specialist at Augustana Lutheran Church in West St. Paul, Minnesota. I thought I would take you on a little tour of our sanctuary and live streaming setup. We can see the main chancel, altar, and pulpit in the center. To the left is the organ and choir loft. Our sanctuary can fit a maximum of 550 people. We have a total of 3 Move 4K 30x zoom PTZOptics cameras. Having 3 different cameras in our sanctuary allows us to get very versatile and different shots for every single live stream we do, making each one unique.
Lord Jesus Christ, the love of God, and the communion of the Holy Spirit be with you all. And also with you. Let us pray.
like his dream. In the dream, everything is perfect. The vision is clear. The future is bright. But then you wake up.
All three of our cameras are powered off of PoE from our Ubiquiti USW Pro Max 16 PoE switch with a 10 gigabit uplink to our main data cabinets. We have a Yamaha TF3 soundboard, several different audio interfaces. All three cameras are controlled with a Joy G4 PTZOptics joystick. All three of our camera feeds are fed into our streaming computer running OBS with an NDI plugin. Using the Joy G4, we're able to save and load dozens of different presets for each camera. We're using Google Slides with a chroma key for our text on screen. Our last camera is mounted alongside the organ, so we're able to get wide-angle shots of our congregation. Speaking of the organ, we're planning on installing another PTZOptics camera, a Move SE 12X, so then the organist has a camera so they can see behind them. We are also planning on building up a live streaming mobile cart so we are able to stream from almost any location in our building, including in these other multi-purpose rooms, especially where there could be a lot of people, but people that may not be able to commute or make it into the in-person event. With our great experience with PTZOptics cameras, we plan to be getting another PTZOptics camera in the future. Thank you for joining me on this little tour of our facility and our live streaming equipment. If you have any further questions, feel free to reach out to me at clarson@augustana.com.
What an incredible video, and so professional, so well spoken, Carl. Like, absolutely blown away by that video. That was so amazing. You're absolutely welcome. I mean, thank you for putting in so much effort and time. I could tell you did, and really spent time to put that video together. So thank you again. You definitely won that $50 Visa gift card and a free month of Hive Studio standard plan. I would actually, just because we're on the topic and we're speaking to you now, Carl, like, you should come on to our worship summit. We're going to do that later at the end of the year. But we'd love to have you on as like a speaker and maybe talk about your experience and have some real world experience to showcase that at our worship summit that we do every year. So thank you again, Carl. Wasn't that such a cool video, Andy?
That was an exceptionally beautiful setup.
Yeah. And like such a large congregation. Like, you guys should be so proud of that. It's incredible. Alrighty. Moving on to number 2. These were so difficult to choose from again, but we chose from Mike Brand and One Mo Studio, Andre's Jazz Club. This is so cool, and it's actually so close to us, and we didn't even know that this was using our cameras. So this is amazing, right here in Coatesville, Pennsylvania. Check out this amazing jazz club.
Andrea's Jazz Cafe in Coatesville, Pennsylvania reached out to One Mo Studio with a live broadcasting project. They host incredible live shows, but they have very limited seating capacity. They needed a live broadcast system to expand their audience without losing the intimate vibe of the room. I met with Bridget and Dennis from Andrea's Cafe at Melody Vision in Plymouth Meeting, PA, to demo a PTZOptics live broadcasting system. They were impressed with the setup and decided to move forward. We installed a similar system, 3 PTZOptics Move 4K cameras, and a SuperJoy controller. Jazz clubs are notoriously atmospheric. These cameras provide the incredible low light performance and dynamic range that are absolutely essential for this space. The workflow is entirely IP-based. We used NDI, routed right through vMix for professional level switching, recording, and streaming. But we're really just getting started. Phase 2 of the installation involves integrating PTZOptics Hive. This will move our studio class control into a unified browser-based management layer for even greater scalability. We're also preparing to implement visual reasoning. The system will be able to autonomously identify soloists and optimize for framing in real time based on the energy of the performance. From remote control today to autonomous production tomorrow. This is the future of live jazz, powered by PTZOptics.
Backwards. Our jaws are on the floor. Dyslexia, excuse me. When we first saw that video, that was so incredible. And I actually live in Coatesville, so that's like, I'm going to go there to enjoy that jazz club, but also like see that setup. That's amazing. Thank you so much, Mike. That was absolutely incredible.
Yeah, I had no idea a place like that existed right around the corner. So we will absolutely be patroning that place as soon as we can.
Absolutely. Yeah. I will in fact hand deliver that $50 Visa gift card to you, Mike. I would love to go there and check it out. And along with that $50 gift card, you guys will get started with Hive Studio with a standard plan. So happy to provide that to you guys. We'll follow up, and I would love to meet you in person, Mike, and learn more about your whole business behind OneMo Studio. Thank you. Thank you so much. All right. Finally, now the winner of our Move 4K. Again, this was so hard, but we really found this workflow and this so interesting because we've never seen anything like this before. And it's not really the workflow itself that really blew us away, but the actual industry and how they were using it was really, really incredible. So let's look over at Glenn Cryfield, who's actually using our cameras in a roller skating rink. Well, there you have it. There you have it. Thank you so much, Glenn. That was so incredible. Did you guys know that artistic roller skating was a thing?
I did not.
Well, we just saw the Winter Olympics, so we saw a lot of that, but I've never seen it on wheels, only on the ice. So we thought that was so cool. But Glenn, you won a Move 4K. We saw that you were mainly just using an SE bundle of just 1080p cameras. So combined with the incredible, unique industry that you're in and all the great videos that you kind of just showcased for us, we had to give you that Move 4K. But we want to thank everyone that entered into this giveaway. This was something special for us, and it felt like we got a little bit closer to you guys at home. So again, if you want to share, we're happy to bring this on to the live show. Hashtag share your vision on any platform, and we'd love to bring it here on the show to showcase it. And thanks everyone. And please reach out to me if you're want to learn more at john.roberts@ptzoptics.com. Alrighty. Well, there is one last thing I want to let you guys know about, because we actually have something new coming for the channel here, a different kind of live show. So first things first, if you want to learn more about PTZ Optics and kickstart your project, you can do that here on the QR code. But there's something coming that Andy is going to be a part of, as well as some other support members and some of our product team, is that we want to dedicate a show that's just completely for you guys. It's just complete open questions and open answers. Whatever you guys want to talk about, we'll kind of bring it in and talk about it, whether it's PTZ Optics, your live workflow, your production, whatever it is. We're going to call this the Lowdown. This is PTZ Optics Lowdown. It's going to happen. The first show is on Monday, next Monday, the 30th of March. So yes, thank you again for everyone that joined our competition. And tune in on March 30th on Monday. We're going to do the lowdown where you can call in and speak directly with our product and support team and get your questions answered. The way we're looking at it is kind of a recap of your weekend. If you were streaming at church, if you had a live event this past weekend, maybe something didn't go according to planned and you want to think about it and really analyze it, that's the lowdown, PTZ Optics lowdown. So are you excited to do another show, Andy?
Yeah.
We're
totally.
taking you away again?
Absolutely.
It won't be this long. I promise. It won't be this long.
I'm holding you to that.
Yeah, well, I promise. I absolutely promise. So, Grace, we're wrapping up your first show. How did it go?
It was fun. It was really cool to see all of the setup showcase for the giveaway.
Yeah. I really felt like it brought me a little bit closer to all you guys and the end users. So I just want to wish you a thank you. If you guys want to book a meeting, I have it pulled up here on my screen. If you guys want to reach out to me and you guys have any questions about anything that we talked about, happy to talk about it. And look forward to NAB. If you guys are going to be in Vegas this year, we're looking forward to that in April. So thank you so much for your time, guys. And thanks to everyone watching. And we will see you at the end of next month. But also, don't forget, on the 30th, next Monday, we'll be live again. See you soon.